congratulations to my honourable friend for bringing this very important debate to the House today. I'm speaking on behalf of my North West Norfolk constituents who would be adversely affected by the Grimsby to Walpole link, and also for the Eastern Green Link proposals for 2 offshore projects for the Great Grid upgrade. Great for whom is the question that many of my constituents have, as under these proposals 90 miles of a new high-voltage electricity transmission line would be constructed, along with new substations, including at Walpole in my constituency near to the existing substation. It would consist of 50-metre-high pylons every 300 metres or so. Pylons half the height of the Elizabeth Tower and getting on for the height of Ely Cathedral. In addition, National Grid's consulting on 2 new offshore electricity infrastructure projects, Eastern Green Link 3 and 4, which are primarily subsea links, bringing electricity from Scotland to England. And as we increase generation from renewables, there needs to be investment to connect these sources to homes and businesses. The issue, though, is how do we do that in a way that minimises the impact on local people, on our countryside and on our communities. 3 options for the Grimsby to Walpole scheme were considered, 2 onshore and 1 sub-sea. The sub-sea option looked at a Norfolk or a Lincolnshire landfall, and there are undoubtedly challenges about a Norfolk landfall, given the number of designated sites in my area, with fewer issues for a Lincolnshire solution. But they need to be assessed carefully. However, as in other areas, the default option for National Grid has been to rule out such options without proper consideration, despite the point that the visual impact, the environmental effect and disruption to communities would be far less by pursuing these options. So that needs to be revisited as this process continues. And having discounted the subsea option, National Grid's proposing nearly 100 miles of new pylons, and many constituents have raised strong concerns and objections to the preferred route, including the damaging visual impact these pylons would have on our beautiful landscapes. Much of the land on the proposed route is Grade 1 arable land, and when we're looking to improve food security, taking that out of use is going against the government intention. Pylons and substations cause noise and disturbance for local communities. The proposed area could also affect many protected sites, including the Wash, one of the most important sites in Europe. Indeed, the government has applied for UNESCO World Heritage status for the East Atlantic flyway for migratory birds, including through Norfolk and Lincolnshire, which could be threatened by the current plans. And when I met local councillors and parish councillors and parishioners, they were concerned about the location and the impact of a new large substation. They've also asked what assessment has been taken of upgrading the existing pylon infrastructure. Of course, that would need reinforcement of those pylons are there, but that would again be less intrusive and more cost effective. And considering improvements to existing lines is a requirement of the National Planning Policy Statement, so that also needs to be addressed ahead of the next consultation. But in contrast to the Grimsby to Walpole plan, Eastern Green Links are for subsea cables with landing points on the Lincolnshire coastline. And then they would run underground for 80 miles to the proposed converter stations and a new transmission station in Walpole in West Norfolk. Yes, underground. So if the underground cable is the preferred option for this project, why not for the transmission line scheme? What scope is there for the proposed Grimsby to Walpole link to be integrated into that? Again, this needs to be looked at further. Just a word on consultation. 8 weeks is wholly inadequate given the amount of documentation that's been published and the length of time that National Grid has been working on it. And to be polite, there's been a lack of a coordinated approach with these 2 schemes could work better together, so we need to see a lot more of a transparent process. To conclude, there are major concerns across West Norfolk of these proposals. People are rightly opposed to the damaging impact on our communities, countryside and farmland. These plans cannot be the final answer. They must be changed.